Welcome back to my channel. Hi everybody, this is Koala, and today I'm wearing my cat ears because it's Halloween month and why not? So I'm a little under the weather today. I'm getting sick, which sucks. I believe I'm catching like a cold or something, which is bad because I was gonna do a vlog this Friday. We were gonna go to Paranormal Circus and I was gonna do a vlog, but that's not happening anymore because I'm getting sick. But anyway, so today we're going to talk about my pregnancy history, the times that I've been pregnant in the past, so that way you guys can get to know me a little bit better. So trigger warning, we're going to talk about miscarriages. So trigger warning, if this is not for you, don't watch this video. Now before we get into the subject, I do want to do a Q&A video. So if you guys want to know more about me or my husband or Charlie, my fur baby, you can leave us your questions in the comment section down below. So let's get into this video. So I've been pregnant twice in my lifetime. One in my previous relationship, which was an abusive relationship. It was more of a mental abuse and emotional abuse than physical abuse. And then once with my husband with my current relationship. So the first time that I was pregnant, I was 29. Sorry, there's some flies here because I'm recording this outside. So I was 29, and it was by the end of 2019 when I got pregnant. Um, Now, I wasn't looking to get pregnant because I was never the type of person that wanted to be a mom. Ever since I was little, that was not my thing, wanted to be a mom. And also, I was brought up in um, this religion where they will advise you to either stay single or if you are going to get married to not have kids so that way you can serve God better. So that was always my mentality. I'm not going to have kids. I'm not going to have kids. So when I got in this relationship, he really wanted me to have a baby. But that wasn't my plan. But we can get more into that if you guys want to know what happened in my previous relationship. But I did get pregnant by towards the end of 2015, and I told him, you know, pregnant. I showed him the test, and I made my first appointment. And I went in by myself because he didn't go with me. So I went in by myself. I was like around 5 weeks and some days when they did the first ultrasound, and there wasn't a heartbeat, but the doctor said that was normal, and they scheduled me to go in the following week. So I went in again. It was 6 weeks and some days, and again I was by myself. Now every time I will go in, they will send blood work to check on my HCG levels prior to my appointment. So I will always get that done before my appointment. So they did another ultrasound on 6 weeks and some days, and the baby was still measuring 5 weeks what it was measuring the week before, and there was still no heartbeat. I was confused because I've never been pregnant before, and also just to mention it, I never had pregnancy symptoms on that pregnancy, like no sore breasts, no nausea, nothing. The only reason why I knew I was pregnant is because I took a pregnancy test. I missed my period and I took a pregnancy test. But I had no pregnancy symptoms. But I talked to my mom and she told me that that was normal. It happened to her with when she was pregnant with my brother, which was her first pregnancy. So I thought, that's fine. No have symptoms. I'm one of the lucky ones that don't have symptoms. But so 6 weeks, that ultrasound, it was no heartbeat. But because my ACG levels were still multiplying, the doctor told me to just come back in another week to check. Maybe we miscalculated the measurements and I'm not 6 weeks, so I went back again on 7 weeks. Um, And again, my boyfriend at that time, he never came with me to that appointment either. And I was telling him, you know what, this is happening. The doctor is telling me that there's no heartbeat. And I was telling him to come with me so that way I can have some kind of support. But he was always like, I'm working, I'm working. But, anyways, so I went back at 7 weeks, and the baby was still measuring 5 weeks. And that's when the doctor told me that he didn't think that this was um, a pregnancy. I would like, he told me the baby's not developing, so this is probably not a liable pregnancy. So we'll probably just, it will be a miscarriage. And he recommended to do a DNC. When he told me that, I just freaked out. I broke down in tears because I wasn't understanding why that was happening. Excuse me. And the doctor kept reassuring me that it was nothing that I did to for that to happen, or there was nothing that I could have done to prevent that from happening. And he told me that that is very common for women to have miscarriages on their first pregnancy. So I told the doctor if we could have one more ultrasound just in case to and I wanted my boyfriend at that time to come with me so that way he could ask any questions if he had any questions. So the doctor's like, okay, so they scheduled me for another ultrasound. And that time I told my boyfriend, you know what, the doctor told me there's no heartbeat, baby's not developing, so if you want to come with me so that way you can ask questions, if you're like unsure of why this is happening, you can come with me. And he agreed, and he finally took a day off from work and he came with me to the appointment. And you would think that he will ask questions. He did not ask any questions. He was just there with a blank stare, just staring at space. So the doctor did the ultrasound again, and baby still was measuring 5 weeks. So the baby was just not developing. And the doctor explained to him, even though he wasn't asking questions, he did explain to him the whole thing, that it was not my fault, that it's just something that it just happens. Nobody really knows why it happens, but it just happens. So they did schedule me for a DNC at Methodist Hospital in Sacramento. And when we left the appointment, he was just blaming me for everything. He told me that was either my fault or my parents' fault. It was everybody's fault that that pregnancy wasn't going anywhere, that the baby didn't have a heartbeat, that it wasn't developing, that it was probably something that I did wrong. Even though the doctor explained to him that there was nothing that I could have done to prevent that from happening. So they scheduled me for a DNC because the doctor told me that he couldn't give me a pill because my HCG levels were still very high. So that happened, and ooh, a fly, sorry. So they did schedule me for a DNC, and he did not go with me. He just told me that he was going out of town for work and he wasn't going to be able to make it. So my mom went with me, and it was a very traumatic experience. It was very sad and not to have his support. So when everything ended, I made an appointment immediately for an IUD. I told my OB that I wasn't trying to get pregnant anymore because I didn't want to go through that experience before and not have support. Why are they so many flies? I'm so sorry. I'm just outside because it's better lighting than inside. Um, but yes, so after that, our relationship was like, it got even worse because he kept blaming me, and for some reason, at some point, he even told me that probably I was never pregnant and I was just trying to, I don't know, hook him up or hook him or something like that. He mentioned, I was like, you saw the ultrasound pictures, you went to my appointment with me, the last appointment. Like, first of all, why would I do that? Like it just in my mind, it just didn't make sense. It didn't register. Like how, like why would I do that? But anyways, that was my first pregnancy, and that one ended in miscarriage in that way. And you know, eventually that relationship ended. Thank God I snapped out of it and I ended that relationship. And after that, I met my husband in 2020. That's when we met each other. In 2021, the beginning of 2021, we got engaged. So in February, it was time to switch, to replace my IUD. So I talked to my husband now, but this time I felt secure because I was in a very stable relationship. Because my husband is an amazing human being. He's really good to me. He's really a really good person. So I felt secure, and I was having baby fever, and I was like, it's about time to just make a decision because I was already 30, 34. No, wait. I was 35. I was 34, about to be 35 because my birthday is in July. So I was like, I need to make a decision if I'm going to want to, be a mom. So I talked to him, it's time for me to get my IUD replaced. What do you think about if we don't, if I just don't get another IUD and then we start, trying to get pregnant? And he agreed because he did want it. He does, till now wants to have another baby, have a baby with me. So I took my IUD out on February. Um, in June, I missed my period and I took a pregnancy test, two pregnancy tests, and I do have them because till this day I have them. So I'm gonna show you. The first one, it was a regular. This is the first one that I took, and it was positive. You guys can see it. Two lines. And then the other one that I took, it was digital, and but this time it's just it turned off. But I wrote yes because it was yes, and I took it on Father's Day, and after I took it and I got my yes. No, my hen just came. No, get off my get off the table. My hen just flew on my table. Get down, baby, get down. Okay. She just got on the table. Maybe she thought I had food. I don't know. So, I'm on my lunch break. So I told him it was Father's Day, and I told him he was still sleeping. It was early in the morning. We were planning to go to San Francisco to spend the Father's Day with my stepkids, and we were just gonna go, right? So I got out of the bathroom. I had the pregnancy test with me, and he was still sleeping. And I turned on the lights, and I told him, "Are you ready to be a dad again?" And he's like, "What?" He jumped out of bed, and he saw the pregnancy test, and we just hugged each other, and it was a nice, beautiful day. Anyway, so I did make an appointment. They gave me the appointment when I was 6 weeks, but at that time I got sick. It was 2021, so we were still under the virus, and they have policies when you're experiencing flu-like symptoms. Oh, there's a bee. Okay, it went away. Bad idea to make this video outside. Anyway, so I got sick. I had flu-like symptoms. So I made an appointment to get tested for the virus, and before my appointment. So I did get my results a few days before my appointment. It was negative for the virus, the coronavirus. But I called my OB and I told him, I have flu-like symptoms, but my test is negative. Can I still go to my appointment? And they told me no. That's one of the policies, and they scheduled me for 2 weeks because you have to be without symptoms for 2 weeks. So they scheduled me. I was going to be 8 weeks and 5 days around that time. 3 days, not kidding you, 3 days prior that appointment, I woke up in the middle of the night. I went to the bathroom and my underwear just was full of blood. I bet I've bled through my underwear, through my pants, and on my underwear you can see little tissue, and also on the toilet there was like blood and tissue that was coming out. What was this? I might just edit this part out. I'm fighting with a bee. Is that a bee? Ah! Maybe we're gonna move inside the house. We're moving because the bees are coming for me. Okay, we're back. Now we're inside the house because a bee was attacking me. So where was I? Yes. So I just bled through my underwear and my pants, and I was just freaking out because that didn't happen to me the previous time on my previous pregnancy. That didn't happen to me. So I was like, I didn't know what was going on. I was freaking out, and I woke up my husband, and he was scared too because, he has never experienced that before because in his previous relationship, that didn't happen. They had two healthy babies, and that just never happened. So we went to the ER. By the time I got to the ER, I wasn't bleeding anymore because I changed and cleaned myself and I put a pad, and I wasn't bleeding anymore. They did my blood work. My husband couldn't come with me; he had to stay outside. They told me that he could come with me once they gave me a room inside the ER, but not in the waiting room. So by the time I got the room, they already took my blood test. I was waiting for the blood results, and we were waiting for an ultrasound technician so that way they can do the ultrasound. And they finally called my husband, and he was there with me. So the doctor came in. That he told me that my HCG levels were high. They were what they needed to be for 8 weeks and some days. But they were still waiting for the technician to do my ultrasound just um, to make sure everything is okay. He asked me if I was still bleeding, and I told him no, that the bleeding has stopped. So he told me at that time that it could have just been like a miscarriage scare, like not actual miscarriage, but just like a scare. But we were still obviously going to do an ultrasound just to confirm that everything is okay with the baby. Uh, by the time that they did the ultrasound, and the results came back, they told me that they didn't find a baby. There was no baby. They found the gestational sac, but no baby. So the doctor told me this is a miscarriage. And I just broke down in tears, and I kept just apologizing to my husband because of the experience that I had before with my ex and my previous relationship with. He just blamed me for everything. I was scared that it would happen again and that our relationship was going to change. And my husband was confused as to why I was apologizing to him, and he kept telling me and reassuring me that it was okay, that he knew that it wasn't my fault, that that he loved me. He was reassuring me that he loved me, that everything was okay, that not to worry about it. I'm gonna cry. That not to worry about it. Everything was okay. So they told me to follow up with my OB, so I scheduled an appointment, and he came with me to my OB/GYN appointment, and I begged for another ultrasound. I just wanted to be 100% sure there wasn't a baby. So they did another ultrasound at the office, and they found the same thing, that it was a transvaginal ultrasound. It was really quick because there wasn't a baby. So she told me she saw the same thing that they saw at the ER. So they told me they were going to recommend a DNC, because my HCG levels, they did another blood work, so my HCG levels were coming down, but they were so high that the pill, I guess, wouldn't work, and they didn't want to risk for me getting an infection. So they recommended a DNC, and they gave me two options: either to do it at the office, and they were gonna give me like a pain medication, or to do a DNC at an operating room or. And I was like, I want to be knocked out. I don't want to feel like I don't want to know that it happened. I to just do it right there, just be self-aware that it's happening. I just know. I can't. I told him I can't go. I can't do that. So they did the DNC. They scheduled it. My husband came with me that day. It was rough. It was a very rough day for both of us. I was a mess. I was crying. He wasn't crying or anything. He told me it's because he wanted to be strong for me, and I really appreciated that that he was there for me and he was strong for me. And we waited hours until they finally did the DNC. And after everything happened, the doctor tell you nothing for 3 weeks, and after 3 weeks you can start trying again. And my husband told me, we can start trying again after 3 weeks. And I told him that I just couldn't, that I needed time to process what happened and to just mentally, not so much physically, because your body will heal within those 3 weeks, but it was more emotionally and mentally that I needed to process and heal what happened. um, so I just couldn't do that again. So we started using protection for that, and then I started trying now, this time actively trying to get pregnant. um, in January of this year. That's when we started trying. So yeah, so that's my pregnancy stories. That's I've been pregnant twice, and unfortunately both of them ended in miscarriage. So we are trying for a rainbow baby. Hopefully this time um, it won't end up in miscarriage. Hopefully, first of all, I need to get pregnant, and then hopefully it won't end in miscarriage. I'm really hoping and praying to get pregnant, and that it will be a successful pregnancy. So I am really thankful that you guys are here watching my videos. Leave me a comment in the section down below. And I'm sorry that this video was a sad video, or maybe triggering for uh, um, some of you ladies. But I just wanted to share a little bit more about me and my background and my history. So thank you so much for coming and watching my videos, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Thank you. Bye.